Very good. Okay, very good. Om. Welcome everyone today to this nice gathering to help me to look through some of these letters. We got some letters, a good number of letters that come each day or so, and by the end of the week they're piling up. This is only some of them that's been selected already, I think by Parvati, and then some other ones. Well, we're not going to go through all of these anyway. So people write and to ask questions and to have some doubts cleared or something like this, and I'm very happy. Some questions are just so engaging for me. I cannot answer every letter, and I am even now these days wondering whether I feel I've answered all the questions. I don't feel that we need to go into details. It's not about details, you know, but you didn't answer my particular problem. I say yes, but if you're smart, we have answered. If you can use what you've heard, no? Because we don't have so many problems actually. And if you can listen to what is really being pointed out, it is very simple. If we address you personally, then there are innumerable questions and innumerable answers, sometimes even to the same question, you see. But if you are listening from a new standpoint, a fresh standpoint, from the standpoint of consciousness, everything becomes remarkably simple, you see. I don't feel there are really any problems in life as that are real, like this is really what is happening. It is all somehow how we conceive and somehow project, misunderstand. All these things contribute to this great array of problems that are, for me, largely imagined. We'll see what we see today. I'm going to see what we can go. I didn't realize this is already quite a sizable amount. Hello, Mooji. My name is Mike. I am 33 and I have been battling with my demons for many years. I am addicted to substances which I got away from for a year or so, but the untimely death of my father has brought it all back. And it has been like this for over 2 years now. I listen to your videos on YouTube and read your quotes on Facebook, and you have deep and grounding knowledge and advice. I have a darkness in me which seems to want to destroy all that is good in my life and has driven me to self-harm and hurt those close to me. I know I must do something or I will lose everything that is good. Thank you for taking the time to read this, Mooji. So you're trying to get off these substances. I got away from for a year or so, but the untimely death of my father has brought it all back. It has been like this for over 2 years now. It seems sometimes something happens, we experience it very, very painfully, and it is as though something inside say, it's all too much. It's just all too much, you know. What's the point of trying to be good when things like this happen, you see? And then quickly you turn to that thing. It's almost as though something is waiting to say, yeah, go, take it. It will make you feel better. No? You know inside there's something that's not true about this. You've heard this voice before, and I don't want to blame about it. I'm just saying that to expose the kind of mechanism of that psychological side of ourselves. No? And it sounds very much like that, no? Now you say, I'm listening to your videos on YouTube, read your quotes on Facebook. You have a deep and grounding knowledge and advice. I have a darkness in me which seems to want to destroy all that is good in my life and has driven me to self-harm or to hurt those close to me. We all, in our dynamic aspect as life, as beingness even, no? This dance of interrelated opposite is part of the theater of consciousness, I can put like that, in which the consciousness for a while wears the garment of a person, lives in a self-portrait called a person. And this, when consciousness somehow localizes its power into this kind of personal form, then the whole experiencing becomes a very heavy realm. Things are taken personally. If you take life personally, then you will struggle. But who caused this in the first place? Who caused it? It is as though none escape it. Nobody escape it, not a Buddha nor a Christ. That's at least in the early stages. We all take somehow that initiation into ignorance, where we deeply believe we are the body. So it's not a blame. It's like in the same way I say that all the beings living in the ocean are wet. All beings in the manifest world are touched by conditioning, by the belief, I am this form, I am this body. And as long as we think of ourselves as person, then you will face this power. That aspect within ourselves that seem to call us to pay attention only to impermanent things and even to trivial things, to be concerned about our fleshly existence, or daily life is taken so deeply as though it is the fact of existence or something, and how much we shelter our insecurities, which are not original to us also, like that. So after a while the soul grows tired of the heaviness of this realm of personhood, and either consciously or subconsciously is yearning to come out of this state. Where does this yearning come from? This yearning itself is a form of grace, and it comes from inside your own self. I just want now to be home, having played with the various toys of the world, and nothing has satisfied this longing, nothing has filled this gap, so some urge comes. It seems this is a very common play. It is not the only play, but it's a very common play, you see. We read of stories, also hear of stories, of beings who didn't seem to go through this heavy suffering state, that from childhood they are just somehow unexplainably drawn to some inner power. They're already singing in the name of God, or they have a way that is far in advance of the experience of their parents even. And in life, so many stories break the mold, you might say. So there's no way to say it is like so. But we can say, generally speaking, we can understand, because most we have tasted each other's experiences in some form or other like that. I have a darkness in me which seems to want to destroy all that is good in my life, and has driven me to self-harm and hurt those close to me. Where would that come from, you see? I feel there's something you're not saying. There's something you keep out from saying. We want to find what it is that you're not saying. A very strong attachment to identity. A very strong attachment to identity is at the root of most suffering in the world. strong sense of me personally, you know. I did this, I tried my best and I did not get, and look into yourself and see if there's strong sense of defensiveness or intense desire for objects or things or relationships. And it will point you to its own root, which is that this I which has become me as a person. And it is generating all this trouble, you see. And if you don't catch it, it seems like it's outside. It's coming from outside. It feels it's coming from outside. And why not inside? Because over time we develop a relationship with our own idiosyncrasies, our own projections. And so through familiarity and habits, you accommodate them and they seem part of who you are, instead of apart from who you are. You see? When anybody comes near them, some discomfort comes. Something moves to protect it, you see. And this something that moves to protect it is also not you. Just learned things. And this is very difficult to jump over this, because our culture, habit, and so few are they who can point you or even say that to question this identity. Nobody questions it, you see. Because with this identity you can get a job, you can get a family, you can have a holiday house, you can have all these things with this identity. And we have come to love this identity and hate it. But there's something in you which no identity has ever touched. Your own sacredness, your own holiness. Satsang is the place where we come to rediscover this. Not to just believe in it, but somehow to come to prove it within your own self. That yes, it's not that I agree with Mooji, I can see also now that I cannot be any of those things I've been imagining that I am, because all along I've been perceiving them. I perceive them. And if I can perceive them, they are merely an object arising in my mind. But sometimes, even after this is shown, disbelief still continues, you see? And we believe in our disbelief in the true. Then sometimes it gets worse, you see? And this intensity of suffering in the big picture is actually helping you. Where it becomes unbearable, when it becomes unbearable, you can drop it, you see? And when you have to drop it because it's unbearable, you cannot boast about it. You also lose your arrogance. You see? I know I must do something or I will lose everything that is good. I know I must do something or I will lose everything that is good. This I again, I'm going to keep, for as long as you have this connection with me, I'm going to keep pointing to what this I is. It's not been looked at sufficiently. We are living in a great assumption, unquestioned, you see, thrives on the fact that it's never questioned. So mostly, even spiritually inclined people still have not gone beyond this I, which has got at the other end of it, has got the me person in it, you see. And no one sees through this. You're going to see. So things get sometimes very, very intense, very painful. Then pain becomes your friend, your teacher, because it helps you to drop things when they become unbearable. And yet there is something inside you driving you to truth, you see. Because how did you come to be looking? There are so many things on the internet you can see. Internet has become the modern encyclopedia. So many things, but you found your way to satsang. So something is guiding from inside, you see. It's guiding your feet in a direction, but maybe sometimes you don't follow. I still want to go this way. But something is in you that is searching for something. Otherwise you would not have come. Now you're writing me a letter now, you see. So not just watching YouTube videos, but reading the quotes also on Facebook. And you say, I have grounding knowledge and advice. How can you appreciate it unless something inside you know? You see? Just that we sustain a kind of duality within ourselves, and so you're part-time in the true, and then something calling you, oh, excuse me, I've got to go over here, and then this will go on for some time. It is okay. Until it's not. This one is from who? I think Michael. So my highest question to Guruji, dear Mooji, my master and Guru, how do I stop myself from spiritually dying? As I feel that I'm holding on by my fingernails and they are breaking. Please, would you guide me and help me, as I just cannot go on anymore. Physical death is fine, but not spiritual death. That terrifies me, and I feel that I am spiritually dying. I love you and I'm deeply grateful to you, Deborah. What it means, spiritual death? You say physical death is fine. But please, would you guide me and help me? I cannot go on anymore. Physical death is fine, but not spiritual death. What is spiritual death? The spirit can die? I don't know. Or what kind of spirit you're talking about? So you have to say more, you see. Deborah, you have to say more. How do I stop myself from spiritually dying, as I feel that I'm holding on by my fingernails and they are breaking? What is spiritual death? You see, I'm trying to help now. I don't know what it means. Spiritual death is what?
To forget to remain as the self.
To forget to remain as the self. In the early stages, you can say that. You see, you forget to remain as the self. But even remembering to remain as a self is not true, actually. We have learned that, you see, because we have learned that you must remember or you might forget. But there is something that is beyond remembering and forgetting, you see. But we forget that. I said one time, I am, before the idea that I needed to remember myself or that I could forget myself was learned. Again, I am, before the notion or the belief that I could forget myself or that I needed to remember myself was learned. Maybe you have to reflect upon that a little bit more. That we learn to believe you could forget and you need to remember yourself. So because it is so nationally, universally believed, then came the need to remember yourself. In the same way that you get up each day, if your name is John, you don't think, what is my name again? John, good. John. Hello there, hello, John. What's your name? John. You don't do like that. You don't do like that. You can you don't even remember it. You get up, you go, brush your teeth. Oh, you don't think I'm John, brushing John's teeth. You're just going about, you don't think anything. But if somebody says, even if you're waking up, you're just going to sleep, somebody goes, James. John, You're like this. So, how you remember that? You don't have to remember. You did not forget or remember. And yet, in the instant, it's there. And yet the name John, this body when it was born, did not come with the name John on it, or sent from God. John of God. Okay, sorry. Okay. Did not come with a name on the forehead of it. Somebody thought about it. This child, he looks like your grandfather actually, this one. Yes, but you cannot call him that. Wilfred. No, don't call him Wilfred. No, let's think about it. No? Poor baby don't know nothing. We'll call him John. Oh, John, yeah, I like this name, John. Hello, John. Baby don't know nothing at all. Doesn't even know mother or father. Don't know this concept yet. Doesn't know doctor, hospital, Tuesday, Wednesday, nice day. Doesn't know anything at all. Isn't it? But then gradually, with association, something comes, to respond to the name. And then grew into the acceptance, when it's, what is your name, Sonny? Because even some children, they don't learn their name. If they're going out to play, the parents have to write their name on paper, put it in the pocket. What is your name? Boy. Where do you live? House. Just basic things. But once it somehow registers inside, we don't know, it's a miracle, isn't it? All the names you remember, John, then you don't have to keep reminding yourself of it. Then, how much more do you need to remember that which causes the name John to be remembered? If you don't have to remember it, I am John. Then that which causes the name John to be remembered, does that need to be remembered? As soon as you have the sense of consciousness that I am here, that I itself, that is consciousness. When you say I am John, John is secondary. I is primary, you see. I is the name of all sentient beings. At least the feeling, not even the word, not the sound I, but the symbol I means I exist, I am. So that has to be the root, you see. And then you say, today we went up, one friend, she's been staying here for a few days. She came from Spain. And her mother, I never met the mother, but she's one student of mine. And so it turned out last year they found she had some cancer, and I could not speak Spanish. I was speaking through Arun. We're talking, and she was telling me, oh, I'm afraid, and so on. And so we talked. We have satsang on the telephone, on Skype also. And we stayed together throughout this time. Every now and again we will talk like this. And then it came very, very much to the edge of her life now. We were talking, and she says, now I'm feeling peace, but sometimes this fear comes up again. And but when I remember you and the talks we have, all my fear leaves me, and I feel this deep peace now. You see? And then we were driving somewhere, going down to the Algarve. I heard she left. She's left the body. No? Some of you were here. Nasima is here? Where's Nasima? She's there? She was, here she's at the back. You remember one time, even you were talking to her, wasn't it? At Zibar. We were talking, I asked you, please help me to talk with her. Then she left the body now. And I felt very happy. She was suffering, and the whole family didn't know what to do. So daughter came, and she's been here for some days. She left today, and just before going, she was leaving 2:30, and I think at about 1 o'clock she asked me, I brought my mother's ashes here. I wonder if I can scatter some at Monte Sahaj. And I did. And I said, yes, you can. And I would like to be there with you. So we went up on the mountain in the temple I make a little ceremony blessing like this, say thank you to celebrate this life and the darshan of this leaving, that you touch so many people and your life has been such a, an inspiration. Now your daughter is here, like that, and so we celebrate you like this, and we put some ashes in the temple like this. And then I went to my house. I put some in my house. Put some. Also, I have some of my master's ashes in my house. And we brought together. You, Papa, take care of you, like that, huh? And like that. So we was up there, and Krishna Bai was there crying before. She said, I said, why are you crying? She said, oh, I cannot bear the idea of looking at your ashes like that, because we are scattering. We go on the platform at the edge, throw. She was throwing ashes. Myself also withdrawing. He said, I could not bear to see these ashes as you. Because I said to everybody who was there, this is our ashes. This is our ashes, isn't it? Yeah. Ashes to ashes, I say, dust to dust. So I said, this body is also ashes, unburnt. This is unburnt ashes. You see, don't worry for that. Find the thing that cannot burn. Yeah. Find that which cannot burn while your body is still warm. Recently we've been talking about that we say the fire, normally you see this red flame. The red flame burns everything and just leave ashes. But there's another fire, like white fire, so much hotter. It burns, even the ashes are burnt. Then say this prayer, O grace, burn me in white fire, grace, until nothing remains but you. Only you. Let grace, let this body be grace walking in the form of human being. It is already so. You see? Physical death is fine, but not spiritual death. So you say, is to forget what should be remembered. How did you put it?
Forgetting to remain, as they say.
Forget to remain.
Or suffocating in time, maybe.
Liberation is to know effortlessly, beyond any doubt, I am that. I don't even have to do that. I said to someone one time, there's nothing I have to do. I don't even have to be myself. I don't even have to be myself. That's just extra luggage. You are. When that conviction somehow, and greater than conviction somehow, awakens in you, then all these efforts, they will pass. As long as the body is here, some tension will be there. It will take its play. It will play in the theater of the consciousness. It will play its role. But something inside it, as I said, the body itself is mortal body, time body, has beginning as end. But the immortal one is inside. And that immortal one is not affected by physical laws. It is not property. What is great life, auspicious life? Know who you are, find out who you are. Beyond all theories and beyond even belief. Satsang is here to support you in that. Okay. Dear Mooji, I can disidentify from thoughts and emotions after a while of listening to your guided meditations. But as soon as I am around other people, panic arises and I get swept up in thoughts and emotions, like feeling inferior or caring what people think or how they act around me. I tried your I am practice, but I couldn't find the sense of I exist. Please tell me how to find that sense, and also how to stay grounded and not be swayed by powerful thoughts and emotions or people. Thank you very much, Kara. Similar things, you see. So I tell you, all the letters there say the same thing. And you know, many years ago, I worked on the streets in London particularly, but in other places as well, as a street artist, making portraits of tourists. It was great fun, great fun. One time somebody told me that, have you noticed, no? All you artists, no matter who you're painting, all the paintings look like you. I said, what are you talking about? I don't paint a woman with a beard. And I says, no, look. And then I start to look, because we are all very close. In those days, we were quite close. We were like about 30 artists working in Charing Cross Road behind the National Portrait Gallery and so on. And when you look a little bit, without pushing anything, you see that there's the same face is peeping through, no? Sometimes with a beard, sometimes with long hair, sometimes with dreads, sometimes bald head, but it's the same. Something is there, that every artist is painting a self-portrait. It was a very powerful thing, but I actually saw this thing, you see? And maybe all our problems are the same, coming from the same kind of mechanism, same factory, you see? I can disidentify from thoughts and emotions after a while of listening to your guided meditations. Well, it just happens. Huh? It's not that I did it necessarily. It happens naturally. Why? Because somehow you're not focusing on trying to, disidentify from thoughts and emotions. You're not trying to do that particularly. You're simply following the guidance to tell you that you're aware of that. You're aware of all these things. So you cannot be caught in the things you are observing. And something simply connects with that insight and relaxes in it. You didn't actually do anything. Understanding opened up in you, you see? But as soon as I'm around other people, panic arises and I get swept up in thoughts and emotions, like feeling inferior or caring what people think or how they act around me. This is why I said our person or personality, this is one of the proof that you cannot be your personality. Look how uncomfortable we are with personality. Constantly self-watching how you're doing, how people look at you, did you make a good impression, will they want to see you again, and all these different things. It's a burden. Whereas one who is free is never thinking about how do they see me or whatever. You see, you completely relax. Because whichever way it goes, that's the way it goes. You see, and this is one of the really good pointers to show that as long as you are obsessed with personhood, you are living a lot of pressure. You will not like people because you don't like yourself. You don't like having to be the self you are being, but you can't admit it. You say it's them. It will never seem like it is you. I told you the story about the man who went to the doctor. No? The man went to the doctor, and he looked very much in pain, sitting in the waiting room. Then even the what you call them now, the attendant, she tried to get him to the front because he's in so much pain. So he goes to the doctor's office. The doctor says, "Hello, and how can I help you?" He said, "Doctor, I'm full of pain." Full of pain? What do you mean? He says, everywhere I touch, I hurt. Really? He says, yes, I touch, look, hurts. So the doctor is looking, huh? He said, look, I touch, it hurts, everything, look, it hurts, everything I touch, it hurts. The doctor said, I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen, please, remove your clothes. taking, it is taking. The doctor examined him, touch different place. The doctor looked at him sternly and says, "Sir, you've got a broken finger." Yeah. He had broken finger, so everything is touched, ha 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 ha. But a foolish man is behaving like the place he touches hurt. But every time the thing he's touching with is hurting. It's not the place he touches hurt, is the thing he's touching with is hurting. You see, but what's a foolish person, isn't it? Right? And the same way, the things that is creating the pain is identity, but we don't see it. You think, oh, it's this person, why do you have to come here? You don't say this. But is why? Because your oversensitivity, your own sort of insecurity is creating this pain for you, but you cannot admit it. And life will keep bringing people, they're like mirrors to reflect what is not functioning in you. We need this mirror. If you are someone who is searching for the truth, we do need each other very much. Because each one is a magical mirror reflecting another aspect of yourself. And then something you don't want to see, you blame them. Why don't this man, I don't like him. Mm-hmm. Huh? Why you don't like him? Because it shows you you're not fair. I don't like you. You see? So, as soon as I'm around other people, panic arises and I get swept up in thoughts and emotions, like feeling inferior, caring what other people think. We know this guy? We know the guy? Same guy, don't say that. But other people think and how they act around me. When you got it bad, no. Then even the way they're behaving, you think it's a kind of conspiracy. Even somebody look at you, it's like, whoa, what are you looking at? You see? I tried your I am practice, the sense I am practice. What is I am practice? I will tell you in a moment. But couldn't find the sense I exist. What is I am practice that he's speaking about? Or Kara. Kara is the name. I tried the I am practice. It's simple thing. I say naturally you have the sense I am. Nobody taught, not even your parents taught you this. Almost everything else we learned or taught. I think we also, did we learn the I am? It seems to emerge with us, something. That natural feeling, I am. Am means to be. I am. I exist feeling. No? Without giving any pictures to it or any titles, just be aware of that I am. And don't allow it to connect with any thought, past, desire, anything like that. Just be aware of that. Isolate the feeling I am. And simply rest in it. Be one with it. Now, it may seem a very simplistic thing to say, because many people are used to complex advice. But just stay with the sense I am, without allowing it to connect with any thought or feeling or any projections. Some people find it that after a short time, thoughts are coming to try and to engage your attention to do something else. Or you start to feel, I'm bored with this. But these are just thoughts also. I said, don't connect with them. And you may feel that a lot of thoughts come to try and divert your attention. Why are they doing it? You see? But don't worry about why at the moment. Simply reject them. Stay only as a feeling I am. And at a certain point, the thought intrusiveness relaxes, and a space feels to open up inside you. Don't start celebrating anything. Just keep quiet. Stay only in the natural feeling I am. There is no effort in it. In itself, there's no effort. If there's effort, it's only to stop going off with the thoughts that want to pull you to something else. And that's all I say. Just stay with this. And that will be one of the key introducing powers back to your own self. Simple thing, isn't it? I like simple. Simple because why? it works immediately also. What is the work of an exercise like this, or practice? Is it producing anything? No, it's not producing anything. It's simply like opening a curtain. And what is behind the curtain is you. And what is seen, what is behind the curtain is you. Simple thing. Okay. So I tried your I am practice, but I couldn't find the sense I exist. Well, you who feel I didn't find the sense I exist, you are the one I exist. You see, you must be the one who say I couldn't find the I exist. Really. You are the one who is existing. What are you saying? Who is the I that says I couldn't find the I exist? No, it's you. You're the one I'm talking. You see? So please tell me how to find that sense. If I try to tell you now, then I make a double complexity about it. I just point it out. You see? I did not find anything. Who is the one who didn't find anything? Ah, yes, yeah. Ah, that one, yeah, that's me. Yes, yes, you I'm talking to. So just this simple thing. So please tell me how to find that sense and how to stay grounded and not be swept by. Just you find it. Forget about being grounded. And to not be swayed by powerful thoughts. And don't set yourself up for it. Simply follow this advice. Be aware, be self-aware of that natural sense I am. You see, there's so much trying to distract your attention. Like, it cannot be so simple. You see? It's too easy, you see? And so it's something he says, but it cannot be so simple. And something is quick to believe that. Both the voice that says it cannot be that simple and the thing that believe it are also not you. They're also something you quickly identify with, but they are not what you are. You are there to watch them both. So it is very simple. What takes time is to actually come to accept the simplicity of your experience. Because you expect something. I mean, look how many great temples are made to this. And what people do for this. You want a break or are you okay? Okay. Dear beloved Mooji, I have been following your pointings for a year and I have listened to many of your videos, but I've never heard this question asked. My question is about self-inquiry. When a thought arises, I am not aware of the arising of the thought. Then how you know it arises? After some time, I become aware that the thought has arisen. That's not true. You see, this is an afterthought about the thought. You see? How can a thought arise? You know nothing about it. Who told you about it? So after some time, I become aware that the thought has arisen, and I start the inquiry. However, it feels like I am doing the inquiry on the past, as I don't immediately recognize thoughts appearing. Is it possible to be in the place of witnessing even as thoughts appear? Yes, but without you, their appearance is not registered. So effectively, they don't exist. It's you who say they exist. It's not they that say they exist. It is you who say that they're there. Okay, so is it possible to be in the place of witnessing even as thoughts appear? As anything appear? Anything that catches your attention, that something wishes to remember. If your mind does not remember something, effectively, experientially, it hasn't happened. All the things with the mind. All spontaneous actions are untraceable and carry no karma. Because there's no person behind them. They're the actions of the universe, in fact. But when the mind, the intent behind the action, create all this maybe sinfulness or something, not the action in itself. You're going on the street, somebody start to attack you on the street and they cut you with some knife. And then they take you to hospital bleeding. And then the doctor put you on the table and cut you with another knife. You see? When you thank, oh, thank you for saving me, the other one you testify, he tried to kill me. Motive. Mind is the motive. Sometimes we do an action that seemed to be kind, but the motive was unkind. Then it is the motive that is judged. It's the motive that reaps the karma. When nobody is living in this house, particularly, meaning the person is not there, the actions and the thoughts are the actions and the thoughts of the universe. Don't work on that, okay? So, is it possible to be in the place of witnessing even as thoughts appear, and how? Please, Mooji, give me clarity on this. I love you eternally, Lana from Sweden. You have to come to satsang and be in this environment, this energy field of satsang. Because it's not important to know many things, or even to know how you know, or what you know. What is important is that you come to clarity, and not the techniques of clarity. This is all that is important. So come and be and bathe in this environment where everything is supporting your awakening. Not just words, no? The breath, the feeling, the space, everything supports the awakening. You see? Otherwise, this sound, someone who you think too much, your overuse, abuse of the mind, thinking too much. This mind cannot help you to find yourself. It's always taking you to some adventure, to some kind of projection, something else. So you don't need more of that. And anything you are explained, he takes credit for it, he take it. It's like you're there asking for food, you get the food, you give it to somebody who then give you what they want to give you. This is not good. Dear Mooji, does something have to happen as confirmation to understanding? I see this, meaning my body, without being actually involved. Yes, I feel this body in me. There is still some identification, the belief this body is me. But it is not a conviction more than a habit. I hope it will wear down soon. Much love and gratitude, Jeff from Belgium. So does something have to happen as confirmation to understanding? Yes, somehow spontaneously it comes. Spontaneously you come to be firm in your understanding. But don't look for any outer sign particularly, or else otherwise you'll be waiting sometime, long time, and you'll misread events. So don't be concerned about that. Simply the urge inside you, if it's genuine, I want to discover what is true. Or if you believe in a higher power, you ask, please, remove my arrogance, remove my own projections, and help me to come to find you who is in my heart or something. then you open up to that. You see? I see this, meaning in bracket my body, move without being actually involved. Of course, you can see your body moving, you know, without feeling I am moving. This sand is going, sand is. But I don't feel I am doing it. I also feel I am doing it. I even do this, I do that. But also, I'm independent also of this movement. Inside, I'm totally still. I'm not being still. I'm just stillness. Like that, no? Simultaneously is there. I feel this body in me. Now, if you say like that, I feel, many people say, I feel me in this body. But when somebody say, I feel this body in me, then who is the me? Didn't say, I feel myself in this body, as most people would say. Here it says clearly, I feel this body in me. Then who are you? Because the great ones, they say, no. I am in the body, and the body is also in me. Who is me? Consciousness. Consciousness in the body, and all bodies are appearing in consciousness. Is this body nearer to me than that body? Is this body nearer to me than that body? Where am I? Am I located in specific coordinates? Am I more in this body? Is this body nearer to me than that body? If you contemplate, it's going to be very interesting what you find. I don't want to spoil it. There is still some identification, the belief, this body is me. This body is me belief is also still functioning, but now it's different because there's an awareness of this identity. When there is such a belief, I am this body, unquestioned, you see, then you may go to war, fight with other bodies, believing they are also their bodies and their background, their belief systems. So one belief system is fighting against another belief system. But inwardly, essentially, who really is fighting this battle? In the ultimate place, where is the duality to create the kind of necessary conflict and friction to aggress, you see? So you are admitting there is still some identification, the belief this body is me. But it is not a conviction more than a habit, you see? This is intelligence. It's not a conviction, it's more just habit. So habits, because of habit, something still referred to this body, this is what I am. But that is also understood that to be, that is only just a thought. And I hope it will wear down soon. What will wear down soon? The habit will wear down soon. When the habit wears down soon, then there will be no trouble for me. This me is what? I can only go into this question. I don't want to force. I'm too tired to go into something if there isn't sufficient receptiveness. You see? When there is that openness, then it's a joy to go into this with you and to find the walls crumbling, 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 till you reach that one, the one who is truly here. Is the one truly here outside of you. You see, I used to fight a lot to try and convey this, but I saw that it was not worthwhile. You must make me say it. When you make me say it, it will be worthwhile. A few days ago, I found myself having satsang with a small group and saying things I've not pointed out to anybody. Why it happened, and so beautifully? Because there was sufficient openness there to allow that to come through. I am not a teacher. A teacher teaches. I only point out. And something flows here. It is He, flow. The one who speaks has prepared already the listening to happen. Otherwise the speaking will not come. In this world, in the human world, the human kingdom, God only waltzes with us. The play of the sense of action and reaction, of call and response is part of this beauty. But both the one who calls and the one who responds is He, is Him. So sometimes there's much deeper things I could say about it. And I long to have satsang with you. Where you no longer keep your individuality. Don't keep yourself, you hold yourself. So then you are not anymore like a door that brings the Lord through. You become a room. But don't shut yourself in your own room. You must become a door through which the Lord of the universe can walk through. And when the Lord of the universe walks through, you'll find you are not left behind. Gratitude, dearest Mooji. Every day I see and hear from you on your many online videos. I don't go to bed at night without watching at least one video. Your live satsangs are a special treat. I devote the whole day to that. I feel I am with you, in your space at the exact same time. I secretly blow you kisses and wave when you look in the direction of the camera. I better do that. Sunday, you made me cry tears of joy when you, as if you knew, blew kisses back and waved. You must feel us as we feel you. After all, we are one. Is it true? Huh? You will always be with me. Tamarai, T-H-A, or T-H-A-M-A-R-A-I, Tamarai. No? Florida, USA. I've not heard this name before, Tamarai. Huh? Very nice. Let's see. Beloved Mooji and dear sisters and brothers in sacred Sangha, my heart is bursting with love for all, for no thing, just for the sake of letting love love. Thank you for being just as you are. Your love is so palpable, even through the screen, that it's just like being amongst you every Sunday broadcast of satsang. It is beautiful, isn't it? I rejoice in meeting you in the silence of my heart at the meditation offered at Fiera Alternativa in Lisboa. I have a heart to embrace the whole earth with my deepest and joyous love and gratitude. Kasha. Very good. It's in French, one thing here. Is it? J'ai un quoi? Where is she? It's you send this? Oh, it's my French. Listen to my French. I try to say. J'ai encore embrassé toute la terre.
Oui, j'ai un cœur à embrasser toute la terre.
Thank you very much. Exactly. It's exactly what I said. Welcome. Beloved Mooji, I would like to take this opportunity to thank God through you for my life and for the understanding of the incredibly amazing miracle of being alive. Also, thank you, Mooji, for everything you have done and do still. From that has come your showing me the difference between being full and being empty. Thank you for pointing the way to remaining more in presence. You have given me a jewel. It has more facets than raindrops on a summer's afternoon, and each facet reflects the beauty, the stillness and innocence, the grace and the glory of God. And who are you, I can hear you ask? Nothing. Nothing and everything, nowhere and everywhere, no longer confined or limited. My ultimate wish is to spend a wee little longer at your feet, more than connecting with you on a Sunday satsang on the internet. Although this is not possible at the moment, the hope is that it will not be too long a wait. Heartfelt love and gratitude. Tristan Peter, Cornwall, UK. Tristan, I think it may happen. Huh? Thank you so much. Very good. Beloved Mooji, why does this body-mind construct need to upset other people, especially my parents? You said you don't mind anything anymore. I came to a certain point where I actually do not seem to care about what is happening in my life. But does this bluntness also involve worried people around me? Afraid of going to work due to the subtle aggression signs of the people there, and fears of going out in general because of unpleasant reactions. I am lost. Should I simply continue like that, somehow fighting through life, or stop doing anything literally, because life seems to push me to hold on and not interact with the world anymore? Or is it all only distraction, and at the end of the day, I, once stabilized in the pure awareness, do not mind any kind of attacks anymore, wherever I am, whatever I do? Thank you very much for your guidance. My mind and heart always directed to you, Julia. Does this bluntness, well, what bluntness again? I came to a certain point where I actually do not seem to care about what is happening in my life. But does this bluntness also involve worried people around me? Afraid of going to work, I don't know what you're referring to, if them or you. Afraid of going to work due to the subtle aggressive signs of the people there, and fears of going out in general because of unpleasant reactions. I am lost, you see. Yes, it sounds lost if you move in life with this fear. Because one who has somehow, whose mind is merged in the heart, you are not so afraid. Because the mind that is saturated with egoic identity, that is a fear-ridden mind. It quickly projects and imagines and exaggerates life and the expressions you experience, constantly interpreting wrongly. You see, that is more the egoic mind, the tendency of that. But as you come to recognize the real heart, that you are one with it, and how effortless it is, and that it is your natural state, you see, a new environment, a new climate arises within you. Much kinder, much more open, more spacious, you see. And you don't see with the same old eyes. What used to be interpreted as aggression is not felt the same way, you see. And you're not being guided by your past thinking anymore. A new power is here that's fresh, intuitive, spontaneous, loving, you see, unafraid. Should I simply continue like that? No, don't. Somehow fighting through life, or stop anything, or stop doing anything literally. You cannot stop doing anything. Because life seems to push me to hold on and not interact with the world anymore. No, mind push you, not life. You are life. Not the one living it so much. You are the life. When you accept, you know, but I am life. I don't have to do anything to be life. I am life. Then something lets go. This kind of managing of existence that drops away. Not managing existence. Managing existence happens when you have lost your way. And or is it all only distraction, and at the end of the day, I, once stabilized in the pure awareness, do not mind any kind of attacks anymore, wherever I am, whatever. This is more true. As I said before, you come to that stage, or that state, where it's not that you don't care, but more, I don't mind. If it's like this, it's like this. We'll see. Because no single thing or occurrence has an innate meaning in it, meaning that it has a meaning, fixed meaning. It's open to several meanings, or no meaning at all. It is you who determine the significance of an event or something by how you choose to perceive it. It has no independent power of its own. Thank you very much for your guidance, Julia. Very good. Dear Mooji, felt moved to express this. Grace called me nearly 20 years ago in time, haha. In time, haha? I have to get used to this internet language. Grace called me nearly 20 years ago in time, haha. And I walked with my dogs in the fields surrounding my home, completely lost, but chanting the words, I am not a body, I am free. I am still as God created me. And I am under no laws but God's, from the lessons in A Course in Miracles. The truth and power in these words became a living presence when the non-duality teachings of Papaji and Sri Ramana Maharshi finally touched me through you and brought me home. When the self experiences the self, it knows. Thank you, Om, Linda. Very good. How are we doing? Not so bad. How are you doing? We are okay? Okay. Dear Mooji, the last couple of years, my experience of life has been hard on me because I suffer the seemingly meaninglessness of daily life. Only since a while I know this is not because of coincidence. A while ago, I experienced being free of all this and living perfectly in the moment. Through meditation, I've been able to turn upon myself, in which I am going into the void that appears in my heart. This happened 2 times, but at that moment, all the sorts of thoughts come to tell me that I can't do it. Now, my question to you is, do I need to enter the void in the heart, or is it simply being aware of thoughts and emotions and letting them dissolve enough? I am absolutely willing to enter the void, but can it even be done without? Or can it, meaning, maybe I would take it to mean, can the realization of the self be done without entering the void? Thank you for all that you are. I feel my own truth in you. Greetings from the Netherlands, Jorrit. Jorrit. Is the name like this? Jorrit? Jorrit? Okay. So, do I need to enter the void in the heart, or is simply being aware of thoughts and emotions and letting them dissolve enough? Yes. I am absolutely willing to enter the void. But can it even be done without? But void is also something you perceive, isn't it? You say, I'm going to enter the void. Like a black hole. Enter the black hole. What will happen? You see? Should I avoid the void? I don't. So anyhow, this thing that you are seeing, the void, and some void, is also, this is image in the mind. It's not more powerful than you, without whom no void can be perceived. Without you, no void can be perceived. But as yet we're not clear. We keep imagining that I'm a little person who's going to enter the void, enter, and then, oh, finish, you see? Then you say, oh, no, I don't know if I should enter. Is it possible to wake up without, by avoiding the void? I said, don't worry about it, just keep looking, that this also is a thought. Yeah. Suppose it, the void, where's the void? Okay, the void comes. When the void comes, where's the void look like? Some kind of vortex, something like a hole, and you're coming closer, you come this close, and then you're in, or do you get, boom, and then you see, like this. Like if a mosquito is coming and you miss him, he heard that. He heard you fly off. Okay? But if you catch him, did he hear that? So, if you get caught by the void, will you know it? The mind has to. Will you come back to talk about the void? No? You don't need to avoid the void, okay? No. So the void also is another one of mind's kind of super tricks. You are going to come to the void. Now the great void. Fasten your seatbelt. So nothing is like that. The void, if I can say something, the void is also merely an image in consciousness also. You may experience something like being pulled into something, and people feel like I'm pulled into this world of strangeness. And we're already in a kind of void. The void of avoiding who you really are. This is the void that we are in at the moment. So, only since a while I know this is not because of coincidence. A while ago I experienced being free of all this and living perfectly in the moment. Through meditation, I've been able to turn upon myself, in which I'm going into the void that appears in my heart. This happened 2 times, but at that moment all sorts of thoughts come up to tell me I can't do it. Now my question is, do I need to enter the void in the heart, or simply be aware of thoughts and emotions and letting them dissolve enough? You are still reporting about the images you perceive. But who the perceiver is, you're not talking it. This is what happens, that the energy goes towards the images perceived. And we are talking, is this, will I be able to do this? Can I come closer? Can I let it happen? This is story, you see. But who you are, who is perceiving it, and because of whom the very images are appearing, we have not looked at it, you see. And this is called more the advanced stage of introspection. Because everything that you experience, it come and go. No? In this moment we're here, I can look at you in the eyes like this and can feel the energy of life itself. I can feel the unquestioned presence of the Lord, like this, like this. And yet, in a few moments, you forget all about it. A fresh moment brings fresh fruits, and you engage in that moment. And you think, oh my God, I'd love to keep this. I'd just like to preserve this. Can we press pause maybe or something? And we just can just, you know. You see, all this is thoughts. Everything is going. What is the continuity when every image is coming and going? It's just that the sense of being, which is like the string on which all these pearls are strung, pearls of memory and identity and so on. But that connecting string, see, the beingness, that's what is our experience all the time actually, because that is the root of experiencing. This is where experiencing is itself experienced. But somehow we don't catch it, you see. We're too busy counting up our account of experiences, although all of them are transient, everything come and go. What is our life apart from memory and identity? What is our life if you take out memory and identity? Is it valid? Because without memory you cannot suffer. Without identity you cannot suffer. And yet how highly we value them. Dear Mooji, I was hoping you could help me with my brother. He was in a car accident in 2009 where 2 girls passed away and he is suffering greatly. It feels like all the life has left him and he no longer has the will to fight. I am the only person he really communicates with, and even then I fear my advice is not good enough to help him through this. In the beginning, he seemed to handle the loss rather well. He went on to his spiritual journey and found you and your videos, which he then shared with me. However, over the past few years, his will to fight and to keep living has been lost, and he has fallen into a darkness where even I can no longer reach him. He will not sleep for 2 or 3 days, then crash after sheer exhaustion for a day and a half, withdrawing from everyone, all of his friends and most of our family. He tells me that he doesn't want to see a doctor about his health, or even visit his friends. A few that have stayed by him during this difficult transition he is going through, the few friends who stayed by him during this difficult transition he is going through, because he states that he just does not care. He will tell me how some nights he feels so ill that he would honestly think he was going to wake up the next morning, but again, he did not care. I fear for him. Thank you for taking the time to read this and respond. Regards, Ashley. See? He tells me that he doesn't want to see a doctor about his health, or even visit his friends. The few that have stayed with him during this difficult transition he's going through. Why? Because he states that he just does not care. He will tell me how many nights he feels so ill that he would honestly think he was not going to wake up the next morning. But again, he did not care. I fear for him. what you can do. What you can do, because sometimes the pain is the feeling you can do nothing. The pain comes maybe because we feel this, I can do nothing. Like, what can I do? If you're not open, and if you are very, very intent on putting an end to your life or giving up, what can anybody do? Sometimes you have to face these things. My own brother, I told that he was such a beautiful man, became very ill, but I remember in previous years to this, what I'm telling you now, he would sometimes be sitting with my ex-girlfriend, and they would talk about philosophy and about the planets and astrology. They had so much energy for these things. And I'd be inside watching football or something like that. I was not interested in any of these talks like that. And then as life changed, and somehow I saw that, I felt in the early stages of my own transformation that he would be somebody to talk to. But he was not. He hadn't gone into this. He just talked about, this kind of more philosophy, but the heart of true philosophy has not reached really like that. And then he became so sick, but there was not the space to talk about this. I go all the way across London to go to see him. I end up playing with his kids because I couldn't sit and talk to him. He said, "Oh, everything is fine, how are you doing?" I said, "No, I don't want to tell you how I'm doing. Look at you, how is it going with you?" "Oh, no, all is good, I'm fine. So I did not trust that. I did not feel this truth. And so it was very painful to be there like that, Not to see his illness alone, but to feel that you're not open enough to be honest about it. And I remember we were trying all kind of remedies to help him. But we saw him fading there. And at one point he became ill, and he had some infection. They had to give him some antibiotics. And it wiped out his immune system completely. And he was just like a body breathing on the bed. I went to see him in hospital. And for the first time, I saw his body straightened up because he was locked into some intense fetal position for so long. And I remember, this thought come. Now, while he's in this relaxed state, tell him something. Marvin, you're none of this. You are the imperishable self. Don't you know this? I've been trying to share this with you. I couldn't do it. Something inside just felt like this is an intrusion. I cannot tell you. So, it did not happen. I cannot force, I did not feel it would be like a force. And yet I cannot say it could not happen. Maybe someone is in this state, and I find myself speaking to them and stroking their head and saying, something makes you do it. There's a time you cannot do. Easy. Then what you will do? There's sometimes to face your own helplessness is also an important thing. Otherwise you disturb the people. You're disturbing them. Because you want them to be something that you are not able to live with yourself for not being able to share. This is not good. What to do? Then you can wish for this person. You can pray for them. Not to be like what you think they should be, but to say that the most profound thing that you need, I combine myself with you, that it be fulfilled for you somewhere. Whatever it is, that is the most important yearning inside your heart. Yeah? May you find real happiness and peace and liberation in whichever way it comes to satisfy yourself. Then leave them alone. Like that. Or you hang about, you wash the dishes, you rub the foot, but don't try to force any belief system on anybody. And yet I cannot say absolutely, because there are some people who are good at that. They just molest you until you give in. Isn't it? They come, you got to come to satsang. You got to come to satsang. Go away, leave me alone. No, but you got to come. And then next minute they bring the whole family, they come. I say, oh my God. And then it turns out beautiful. So I cannot say absolutely, you see. Did I finish reading this? Sorry, wait a minute. Where am I in this now? So, in the beginning, you seemed to handle. So you had an accident. You began to handle the loss rather well. He went to a spiritual journey, found you and your videos, which he shared with me. However, over the past few years, his will to fight and to keep living has been lost, and he has fallen into a darkness which even I cannot longer reach him. But I would like to hear from him, because I don't trust anybody's assessment of someone else. I really don't. I would like to see him. I heard from them, you say, is it true, this thing? Because sometimes you see, you may also be going inside your own, you're entering into your own ocean, you see. The people around you, they say, what's wrong with you? Snap out of it, you see. Because you don't want to come party, you don't want to rave. They say, what's wrong with you? You just look like you're not yourself lately. And they really disturb you, you know. Is there anything we can do? And they want to buy you a holiday. You say, listen, I am having a holy day. Yeah, but you need a break. You know, you need to cheer up. You need to go out. Have you tried online dating or something? Because they don't have a way. Their own insecurity or discomfort is interpreting and looking at you, and just saying, what's happening? And you know, they're looking. If you're smiling, then maybe, but some joy doesn't look like on the face the joy. So we don't know like that, you see. So I don't like to hear referrals from people, because I don't trust if you're seeing correctly. Because I know some of this, you see, withdrawing from everyone, all of your friends and most of your family. Sometimes you have to do this also. I'm not saying about this particular case, but sometimes you have to do it, because they molest you. Some families are so supportive, very good, but some, they're just on your back, you know. You see? But now you say, he tells me that he doesn't want to see a doctor about his health, okay, or even visit his friends. A few have stayed by him during this difficult transition he's going through, because he states that he just does not care. He will tell me how some nights he feels so ill that he would honestly think, at least he's communicating with someone, he's communicating with you, no? And thinks he was not going to wake up the next morning, but again, he did not care. I fear for him. But even that, if you are there, even to allow someone to say, and don't have too much say back, but just allow it. Maybe just I need to say, maybe to get out, because sometimes you're carrying so much pain and different things that you just need some ears to talk into. Just talk and just say. You know, sometimes you say terrible things like, I just feel like I could just jump off this hill, man. And they're going, oh no, don't jump. But you don't really want to jump, because you're telling them, you know. And you get out, and somehow your life opens up like a flower. There's some flower, somebody showed me, I don't know if it's called a desert rose or something. It just looks like a piece of rubbish, like something. But if you put it in water, it opens up into a living thing. So look at that, you see? So some things you think they're finished and they're full of life, potential life. No? So it's hard. I would want that if he wrote me this letter, then it's a different thing. But I just say blessing on both of you. You must be somehow, you're a good brother to be standing by him, actually, isn't it? Stay, but don't let your own mind work too much. The best way of being with someone in this way, be empty. Yeah. And be present at the same time. It's amazing how much we can gain, somehow come to so much richness by just not having an agenda. Your life, you perceive such depth, such profundity, such beauty. See? Hello Mooji, this is the first time I'm writing you. I'm following your teachings on the internet and thank you for them. They're clear and direct as I found. To me, I am stuttering since childhood and grown up with difficult parents. Even if your words, Mooji, speak to my heart, I have difficulties to trust in life and to be comfortable with myself. There is always this fear in the background which tells me I have to protect my body and soul, not to be hurt by others. So I control unconsciously a lot of my life, which is a little bit crazy to me. Of course, this fear is passing, but I can't overcome or transcend it to come to a deeper, more relaxed level. I can only speak like this from my point of view. I believe you that it doesn't touch somebody who is the presence and not a person. But for me, it's difficult to speak like this because I'm not feeling myself as presence. Alan from Germany. So, even if your words speak to my heart, I have difficulties to trust in life and to be comfortable with myself. There's always this fear in the background which tells me I have to protect my body. And so all these letters, they come with so much identity. Over the years, I've been privileged to hear many accounts from people, heartfelt, deeply touched in life. But almost all of them is coming from the person. It's always from the person. And yet, you are the presence. I get very little letters from presence. I've never received one letter from the Absolute. But I have a lot of letters from persons all over the world. So many persons writing and this thing and this and this difficulty I have and my family and my friends and this life, meditation and so on. This is person. You see? So it shows you, it gives you a taste of how much personhood has saturated this human kingdom. Everyone speaks from person, you see. So even when you're told and reminded, but you are the presence, you see. And not just to be told, but also to be guided back into your own conviction of it. And sometimes experiencing beyond any doubt, but there's only this. I'm not blowing magic powder in your face about it. You yourself are looking and being guided to see, but this is where I would go off on one. This is where I would go into that. But I can see, but there's no need. I'm here. And is there anything that is so powerful that it will just capture my attention beyond my will here? I said, well, no. Some things may seem to have a touch of intimacy about them, but I see it's because they have been protected somehow in me. You can observe these things, and it's the power of observing. Yeah. So there's always fear in the background which tells me I have to protect my body and soul, not to be hurt by others. So I control unconsciously a lot of my life, which is a little bit crazy to me. Control is exhausting your life. You see, this exaggerated idea of I need to control existence. You see, that you don't allow yourself to be carried. You never allow yourself to be merely a witness or a passenger. You're always carrying. You know, it's like you're a train, and at the same time you're building the tracks. You know, I mean, who wants to live like that? Where's the joy? You must be getting some juice from it to do that. And yet you wrote, no? So you must be, you're here, something is here. Of course, this fear is passing. Like, is there anything that is not passing? Have we experienced anything that has come and stayed? Isn't everything coming and going? Even our identity, the idea we have of who we are, is also changing. You cannot keep it, it's going by nature. No? Of course, this fear is passing, but I can't overcome or transcend it. I can't transcend it is also a thought. Just stay as you are. Stop looking for readings of yourself. It's like you plant a little seed and every 2 days you pull it up to see how much the roots have grown. And put it back inside. Don't worry about measuring your progress. Forget about it. And then next time you see, look at that, 5 new leaves. Wow, it's amazing. What did I do? Nothing. I can only appreciate. You see? Of course, this fear is possible. I can't overcome and transcend it to come to a deeper, more relaxed level. If you leave all of that, your relaxation will be there. I can only speak like this from my point of view. I believe that it doesn't touch somebody who is in the presence and not a person. But for me, it is difficult to speak like this because I'm not feeling myself at present, you see. Myself as presence. These are thoughts, you see. We are plagued with thoughts. You see. Without belief, a thought has no place to go. It has no place to live. It has no drawer to be kept in, you see. So again, it returns to emptiness. Unregistered. Like undelivered post. I cannot know where to go. If you don't identify, it cannot say, look, I was here. It just doesn't register, you see. So all these things is just something has collected these thoughts, you know, and is holding on to them, give too much meaning to them. You know, is it possible to live without this bank of thoughts? Totally. It is our natural state. Look, yesterday, what time it is now, I don't know. Let's say it is whatever. Okay? Okay? So whatever it was yesterday, can you remember what you were thinking? No, you cannot. This morning, 10 minutes ago, exactly what was your feeling? You don't know. Everything is gone. Huh? All of them is gone. It's gone. No? And some people, they have a very brilliant memory for remembering the unimportant. You see? And to bring it back to life. I don't know, they have this amazing power to give life to meaningless things. But most things is going. It's go. Most, all is go. But then, why keep these? I mean, of all the things that happen in a day, why preserve these? Greater things have happened. Greater things are here to be perceived. Huh? But something out of habit gravitates towards holding on to impressions that causes pain. Why? Because something identified with painful person. Why things happening to me all the time? You see, on this one, he's another one, you know, and he's hanging on to this, you know, pain. So we just need to watch of this. Your true life, it's not. Did these things happen? No, they don't happen. You make them happen because you keep believing them. See? How to unhappen them? As soon as you find again, the true position, your true self, all this vanish. All these things vanish. It is very simple, It all vanish. We believe in our troubles more than you believe in God, more than you believe in your true self also. This is all. What do we do now? How far from dinner are we? Where are we doing? Okay. Huh? 3 to 7. Dear Mooji, I read that you like straight messages. I read that you like straight messages. I thought it was massages there for me. That's why it's straight massage. I have been a monk for 5 years in a Tibetan Buddhist monastery. I left it because this approach was much too intellectual for me and just fed my thought and increased confusion. I left the monastery, met a girl, had 1 child, but I lost my track on this way of life. Again, I feel an intense longing for truth. It's been a few months that I discovered Sri Ramana, and it immediately touched my heart. I listened to some of his teachings, and it fit very well with my perception. Now I have decided to engage in retreat until something happens. I know that this is the goal of my life, and now I'm ready to engage. I just need a support to guide me in retreat in case of necessity. Could you take this role? I am French, 35 years old, living in France, and I plan to start in 1 or 2 months. I already use as much as possible my time to meditate. You touch my heart, and it is why I come to you. Guidance can take the form as you wish. Maybe email. Thank you for your work.